a few bits and points that I was exploring about the topic of the paradox of choice were talking about that. It was pointed to the fact that you don't have to deny choice, but it is important to realize who or what is doing the choosing, because it can bring some understanding and helpful way of seeing it. For example, as we just mentioned, we're talking about the thoughts coming in the way and the fact that you don't really choose thoughts, right? So if Linkin Park comes up as the thought, as an answer, that's just what happened. But so you don't choose the thoughts, but you can choose to see that you don't choose them, because if you just talk about this with people who are not familiar or haven't engaged in these investigations and just philosophical deliberations, I guess, they don't usually agree. Like whenever you try to, it's kind of connected to the free will discussion and
Right.
choices. And they're like, no, of course I make a choice. But if you just try to dig into it and like this and like ask them like, okay, how did you choose to eat vanilla ice cream instead of chocolate one? Like, yeah, I just like this one, so I chose it. Yeah, but how did you do it? How did you choose it? How did that whole process happen?
Yeah, and then also if you ask the question, okay, why did you like it, right?
Yeah,
That's a very hard
exactly.
question to, okay, why? Well, I don't know. I just like it. But how? Why? Right? It's like which kind of part of it is it okay, you can say the taste, but then why does it taste good? I mean, can you explain it chemically or
Yeah, did you
neuron?
choose your taste to be that way? Because
So
if you have a choice to decide your taste, why don't you decide that everything tastes amazing all the time?
yeah, and also, we in our body we have this two nervous system, right? The parasympathetic and the sympathetic system. So some of the stuff we don't even control, and the body does not want you to control that. Like you breathing, for example, all right? It's have an automatic response because if you are taking control of that, you're gonna screw up, right? That's why people when they hyperventilate, it causes them problems. Like it actually becomes a problem if they try to do that consciously. So you're interfering with the running of the system. Some of the system, they don't give you control. And the body is already, they don't give you, this is why you cannot override some of these stuff unless it's like emergency or whatever, right? So the idea that there is a subsystem that's running and you can't really touch that. You can't really interfere with it too much, And that, I don't know, it means what? You don't have a choice then, right? I mean, you're given this thing that runs and it's kind of without your input. So your input is not, this is like surface level, little sliver that is a conscious part of who you are, right? I guess that's the scary part. Like, oh, shoot, I'm not in control. Oh my God, like
Yeah,
I don't know
this is
who I
where
am,
yeah,
right?
exactly. This is where it pulls all kinds of scary thoughts and realizations. But this is what I've been encountering again and again since I've been trying to delve into Buddhism and understand what the hell they're talking about with their ideas of no self and anatta and whatnot. But this is kind of where it leads to. Essentially, even this just logical, intellectual analysis of these concepts, they do lead you to these observations, because right now we're just talking. We're not scholars. You're not scholar. We're just kind of thinking about our experience and understanding of these concepts and what these words mean. And we're arriving at like, that seems to be what's going on. That's just analysis of your experience. And this is where I do think that this literally can turn into a meditation, essentially, where the attention will kind of invert on itself at that point. Because, yeah, when you're starting to ask questions like, okay, if I'm not making a choice, if some kind of if it's just a cascade of decisions being made somewhere underneath the hardware, yeah, how does it all work? Yeah, I'm not sure. We could go into a few different directions from here, but would be interesting to further explore concept of desires and decisions.